Welcome aboard our time machine setting course to the vibrant 1970s. Amidst this dynamic decade, baby formula is born, initiating a subtle yet powerful nutritional shift for infants. At the outset, the target seems fairly narrow, mothers struggling to breastfeed. But, the vision stretches far wider, aspiring to make this innovative product the numero uno choice for all moms. Can you imagine a consumer base not just doubling or tripling, but potentially growing a whopping 20 to 100 times? Although it may sound fantastic, breastfeeding, that age-old nutrient-packed practice, is no pushover and stands tall and formidable, casting a shadow over the ambitions of the fledgling baby formula. With ingredients like added sugars and cow's milk, the formula is gearing up for a tough contest. Here's where the plot thickens, as marketing maneuvers might need to flirt with the gray areas of ethics. Intrigued about how innovation walks the tightrope of moral choices? Let's plunge deeper. A compelling ethical dilemma soon unfolds before us. Is it responsible to tout formula as the unmatched alternative, potentially putting at risk the health of babies across the world? This question, hefty and laden with deep consequences, mirrors the myriad of complex choices accompanying the odyssey of innovation. Ever wondered about crafting a promotional blitz so irresistible, public sentiment irresistibly gravitates towards your side? Think of it as akin to the marketing wizardry once woven by behemoths like Nestle. These tactics, though debatable, were monumental and echo some of the 20th century's most significant and polarizing campaigns. Navigating through this enthralling and disputed tale, we can't help but draw parallels with another juggernaut, adept at shaping public perceptions, the tobacco industry. But how exactly did these cigarette peddlers wrap themselves in a veneer of glamour and sophistication? In the dawn of the 20th century, cigarettes were nothing close to the harbingers of death. We know today, no, they were glamorous, a symbol of sophistication and a magnet of allure that caught the fancy of almost 50% of Americans. You would find advertisements painted in bold and vivid colors, depicting the revered figures in society, doctors casually enjoying a smoke, endorsing brands like Camel with catchy phrases. This, right here, was one of the earliest versions of influencer marketing, capitalizing on the unquestionable trust people place in their physicians. Fast forward, and we're knee-deep in a campaign where the aim is crystal clear: sway mothers to opt for baby formula over breastfeeding. What's the magic bullet here? A nod of approval from the doctors. That brings us to the intriguing marketing adventures of Nestle in the 1970s. Picture this: healthcare professionals around the globe subtly nudging mothers toward using formula as a fitting substitute for breast milk. It gets even more interesting in places like Asia and Africa, where women dressed as nurses play the role of advisors and distributors of free formula samples. These samples are craftily measured, ensuring mothers would need to rely on formula moving forward. But here's where the plot thickens. The mixture of powdered cow's milk, sugar, and vegetable oil doesn't even come close to the goodness of real breast milk, lacking essential elements vital for babies' immunity and health. This oversight spiraled into a crisis, leading to a scenario where Nestle representatives found themselves explaining to the US Senate in 1978 why their product was linked to illness and fatalities among infants. Then 1981 saw new regulations from the WHO, putting a damper on comparing formula with breast milk. But challenges are meant to be overcome, aren't they? Nestle pivoted, focusing its marketing might on regions with relaxed regulations, witnessing a surge in formula sales. All the while, in the Western world, they waved the pro-breastfeeding flag, even employing somewhat awkward marketing tactics to drive their message home. Yet, amid boycotts, stricter laws, and continuous scrutiny, whispers still circulate that Nestle might be engaging in the old play, paying doctors for endorsements, distributing samples, and running ads in healthcare settings. Baffled by how Nestle possibly continues these practices, there's more to the story, just wait and see. Water, besides food, is a fundamental human necessity, making the water industry notably profitable when managed astutely. Think about it. The plain tap water we often take for granted, flowing effortlessly from our faucets, is rather cheap. However, place this water in a bottle, stamp a label on it featuring serene mountain springs or impressive fountains, and suddenly you can charge a premium. This isn't mere speculation. Nestle found itself under legal scrutiny as early as 2012 for allegedly selling bottled tap water. It's important to note, though, in developed nations, there's only so much a company can slip through the cracks with, as regulations and public awareness are comparatively robust. The narrative takes a different turn in developing countries, where exploitation can reach disquieting heights. Take, for example, the events that unfolded in Pakistan in 2013. Reports surfaced accusing Nestle of siphoning clean water from local villages and towns, bottling it in their facilities, and then selling it back to the deprived local populace. It was a slick, if not morally questionable strategy. With their access to clean water cutoff, impoverished residents had no alternative but to consume contaminated water, unable to afford the bottled water which was originally sourced from their community. Isn't it startling to think about the lengths to which corporations might go to secure profits? And if you're pondering whether the controversies end with water and baby formula for Nestle, there's more beneath the surface, and surprisingly, it involves something as delightful and seemingly innocent as a Kit Kat bar. Dive a bit into the backstory, and you'll find that a large chunk of the cocoa constituting Nestle's chocolates, including those scrumptious Kit Kats and Milky Bars, is sourced from Africa. This wouldn't raise eyebrows if it weren't for the grim reality of the African cocoa industry, a sector notorious for engaging in child slavery and forced labor practices. Now, cocoa isn't cheap, especially when brought from Africa, slicing a significant chunk from the profit margins. Nestle's alleged solution? Turning a blind eye and procuring cocoa from farms infamous for exploiting child labor, a strategy that stayed under the radar until a revealing report in 2000. Although Nestle voiced commitments to cleanse their supply chains of these inhumane practices, their actions reportedly fell short, doing little to douse the public anger. In an attempt to salvage its image, Nestle then decided to get cocoa from French farms with cleaner records, garnishing these products with fair trade labels as a testament to their commitment to ethical practices. However, whispers suggest that this commitment was selective at best, with other products still tethered to the questionable cocoa. When environmental sustainability became the talk of the town, Nestle was quick to jump on the bandwagon, flaunting eco-friendly labels, a move seen by some as a smokescreen to divert attention from its persistent supply chain issues. But the story doesn't end there. Fast forward to 2002, Ethiopia, a nation grappling with poverty, was in the throes of a crippling famine. In the midst of this, Nestle was locking horns with the Ethiopian government over a debt tied to a company it had acquired back in the 80s. Even as millions were starving, Nestle insisted on the repayment of a debt that had inflated over the years, a move that garnered widespread condemnation and resulted in a PR disaster. Although Nestle eventually caved to the pressure, relenting on its demands amidst growing boycotts and criticism, the episode left an indelible stain on its reputation. Today, despite a tapestry of controversies, Nestle stands tall as the world's largest food company, successfully navigating through the murky waters of its past, with its products still finding their way into homes across the globe. So, is Nestle really that evil? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more business insights.